welcome back to my channel. This is just going to be, I'm just generally updating and talking about random stuff in this video. So the big news I want to relate is that tomorrow, Wednesday, tomorrow, at 10:30, between 10 o'clock and 10:30 a.m. They couldn't give me the exact time, between 10 o'clock and 10:30 a.m. tomorrow, I'm going to have my booster vaccine. So that's good. I found out today because I need a home visit because of my extreme anxiety around contamination. I can't go anywhere where there are people. So yeah, so I need a home visit, and it will be in a garden like last time, because that reduces my contamination anxiety, because it feels safer outside. Because obviously, you know, although like they're all COVID checked and everything, obviously there's still a risk. So yeah, triggers me. So outside garden makes me feel a bit less anxious. And yes, so that's going to happen tomorrow between 10 and 10:30. I'm relieved. Yes, a bit anxious because, you know, I don't know. I'm hoping I'm not going to have too great a side effects afterwards, because after the second one I had a really bad achy arm, which was not very nice. But you know, it's all in the name of good, and it, at least in the long run, it should mean my anxiety goes down, because my anxiety has been very high lately with this new Omicron variant, and you need a booster to provide at least some protection against it. I think it's something like 70% protection. It's not as great as like against the other variants, but at least with the booster you stand a greater chance were you to come across its path. Obviously I'm trying not to, but you know, it just makes me feel a bit more reassured knowing I've done everything I can and that I'm as protected as I can be. And yeah, it will make me feel a bit less anxious just knowing that I do have more protection once I've had it. So it should be fine, you know, but I'll try and take it easy over the next few days, just, you know, in case I have an achy arm, you know, my feeling a bit crap. But yeah, it's all in the good, and I'm just relieved to get it over and done with, you know, because it's been hanging over me for a bit, knowing it's coming up. I'm actually very pleased to get it tomorrow, because I was expecting I'd have to wait for ages, because with the first two, it took them forever because of needing a home visit, so I was quite delayed after my age group in getting it, which caused a lot of anxiety. Like I felt like I was being left behind and everything. So it's about coming up to 4 months after my second. In the UK it was 6 months, but again because of the Omicron, everyone's been it's now at least 3 months after. So yeah, he brought it down, and because of this new Omicron, I might actually end up with more protection though, because you know, because at 4 months I might still have some protection from the first two, because they say it wanes massively come 6 months. I think at 6 months you hardly have any protection left, but at 4 months I might still have a little bit left over from the first two. So it might mean that I already have some of those antibodies up for the first two, which means that it might be more effective than like leaving it later, maybe, because obviously if you have it after 6 months, say, you might hardly have any antibodies left at all, so it's almost like you're starting from scratch in a bit. Not completely starting from scratch, because you still might have like T cells and other things that have been activated, and long-term immune memory. But yeah, I feel that maybe it might actually boost it more. It might be quite a sweet spot at 4 months. So yeah, so a bit apprehensive about that. You know, it's very quick. It's like it's over and done so quick. You know, I barely felt the needle go in after the second one. It's more just like, I don't know how achy my arm's going to be, and that's, but you know, just deal with it. Yeah, it'll be fine. I'll get through it. I'll just be pleased when it's done, you know. So that's the big news I wanted to impart. My brother's also had his booster. I think he had his yesterday, so we're more or less on the same level, because he had his second one only a couple of weeks before me, and now he had his booster yesterday. So that's quite cool that we're both at a similar time. I'm having Pfizer for the booster. I've had Pfizer for the first two, which is quite reassuring to know it's the same vaccine I've already had, because I sort of know what to expect more. Yeah. So anyhow, so that's that. What the other things? Oh yeah, so over Christmas, again, and not really very eventful at all, with my extreme OCD contamination issues and COVID and this new variant, I haven't been able to see anyone. Um, but I spent Christmas was fine on my own. I'm used to being on my own anyway, so it's not like a big deal. I made bread on Christmas Day. I made a loaf of bread. I hadn't made bread, like proper bread, for a really long time. And so I made bread, like a proper loaf, yeast bread. It's a white loaf. And I was apprehensive. I was thinking, can I do this? I haven't done this for a really long time. Will it work out? It came out absolutely amazing. I was so pleased. Literally, it was the best bread I've ever tasted, and I made it completely from scratch. I didn't use a bread machine or anything. Proper hardcore baking. And yeah, it was really, really good. So I obviously have a knack. I gave some to my dad and I gave some to my brother, and they were both really amazed as well, like how nice it was. So yeah, I was really quite proud of myself, really, that I achieved that. So it shows I can make bread. So I obviously have a baker's knack, particularly as I hadn't made bread for a really long time. I think the key is to making good bread is to really work the dough. You have to really, it's almost like a boxing match with the dough. You really have to like pound the dough, really pound it, The harder you can do that, the better the dough. So I really did give it a good work. I really did give it a good beating, and I think that's what achieved the excellent result. Yeah, I let it rise. What I did was, in order to let it rise, because you have to put it in a warm place to rise, what I did was I put it on the shelf next to the oven with the oven door open. So on the oven door that was open, I put it there, put the oven on its lowest setting, and then the warm air from the oven kind of wafted out and let it rise. And that also, I think, helped it as well. That was something I tried, and I think it worked. So yeah, very pleased with myself at the fact the bread was so amazing and so tasty, and it really did taste really good. I also made some mince pies on Christmas Eve, which, considering I hadn't made mince pies for God knows how long, they were pretty good. My dad and my brother liked them as well. They were made with wholemeal flour, egg enriched. They were really nice, actually. So we did quite a lot of baking over the Christmas period. What else? At the moment I'm making a curry from this cookbook here. It's actually on the hob right now. It takes a really long time, about an hour, so that's why I've got some time. So I'm doing a video while I'm waiting. From this cookbook here is the Osborne Round the World cookbook. It's actually a kids cookbook, but it's the very first cookbook, or one of the very first cookbooks. I don't know if it was literally the first cookbook I've ever owned, but it's one of them. This is quite a nostalgic cookbook. This is actually a new copy, because the one I had from when I was a kid is like dog-eared and like really tatty, so I decided to get myself a nice pristine new one. And because it's kind of quite nostalgic, this cookbook, because it's really what got me into cooking when I was a kid, because obviously, as you probably know, because I think I've told you before, I've always been really interested in food and cooking, like literally, practically from the moment I was born, or from the point when I became aware of cooking and baking and food. I've always loved baking and cooking ever since I was a kid. I just loved it. So obviously when I was a kid, my mum got me quite a few cookbooks, kids ones obviously, and this was one of the ones I had. So the curry I'm making at the moment is actually a recipe in here. I have adapted it, however, because I don't really eat meat. I very occasionally, but primarily I'm mainly vegetarian. I'm not a strict vegetarian. I do occasionally, I'm not a strict vegetarian, as in I will occasionally eat meat, but so occasionally. If I can adapt a recipe and make it plant-based, I will. So I've been using aubergine in a curry that's for lamb, but with aubergine it's absolutely amazing, because when you roast aubergine, it literally does taste like lamb. It's quite remarkable. Like the texture is really similar. So in like curries that are like called for lamb, and I want to make it plant-based, I use aubergine. because you wouldn't really know. I mean, obviously it's slightly different, but you know, it doesn't really. It really is a really good substitute. So yeah, I worked that out recently. So the recipe, when I did the recipe in its original form back when I was a kid, I did use lamb. So it'll be interesting to see if it tastes similar. But yeah, this book here is one of the earliest cookbooks I've ever owned, and it's a very nostalgic book for me because you know, brings back memories. The recipes in there. What else has been happening? I'm still trying to find a new therapist. That's taking forever. I have actually received an email today which I need to reply to. I just haven't had time, which I will do later on today. From one of the therapy centres I'd contacted because the one I chatted to or had a free Zoom consultation with. But I didn't really feel I gelled with her, really felt I got on with her properly. So they're going to put me in contact with another therapist, so I can have another free chat with another one to see if I gel with that one. So fingers crossed. Oh yeah, and the other thing, I would like to introduce you to my penguin. Sorry, I always speak to it like that because it's so cute, and it makes me speak to it like it's a baby. This is my penguin. I've had this for a little while now, but he's my cuddle buddy, and it's so soft. Yeah, I just wanted to show you my penguin, and I've also got because I think I've told you already that I'm really into foxes. I love foxes. Foxes are like one of my favourite animals, and I recently ordered, because this one comes from H Smith, and H Smith do really nice soft animals. I think the ones for H Smith always seem to be quite good quality. Like I got a sloth from there as well, that's also really soft. So I've just ordered actually, because I really wanted to get a cuddly fox, because I have one fox, but it's like, which I got from my granny, but it's not really cuddly, and it's more like I don't know, like a display fox. Like it's all dressed up and everything, and it's not like one I'd really cuddle. So I've ordered from H Smith today, in fact, because I was on there because I really wanted to get a cuddly fox. So I was like looking, well, I could find one. Sure, and funny enough, I looked on H Smith because I remembered that I got this from there and how pleased I am with this and how snuggly and cuddly it is and everything. So I looked on their website, and sure enough, they've just introduced a cuddly fox of the same proportions as this. So yeah, so I've ordered the fox. So it looks really good, and I'm looking forward to that. So that's one I can cuddle as well. And I cuddle this one in bed. I just like the pressure, you know, just like relaxing. So that's something else I wanted to say. I think that's everything I wanted to say for now. I just make sure if there's nothing else. Yeah, I think that's everything. Okay, so thank you for watching.